Well, we're getting breaking news after Washington. The statue of Mahatma Gandhi that has now been vandalized in London. This happened at the Parliament Square in London, where Black Lives Matter protests were taking place. Remember how the Black Lives Matter movement has now become a global movement, and several such incidents that are being reported. Remember, just a few days back, Gandhi's statue that was vandalized in Washington, D.C., and similar incident that has now taken place in London, Parliament Square in London, where the statue of Mahatma Gandhi has been defaced in London itself. We have Abhishek Kapoor, our executive editor, joining us with more details. Abhishek, that's what the problem, the larger problem at this point in time is, though the Black Lives Matter is gathering global steam. The fact that there is so much vandalism, looting taking place in the name of these protests is something that needs to be looked at very, very carefully and seriously.
Well, in Washington, at least there were two separate camps that were indulging in rioting and arson, Christine, and you could not find out exactly, though there is an investigation as to who would have done it. But in the case of London, at least the protests were in favor of Black Lives Matter, and it seems absolute ignorance of these protesters who have put word racist in front of the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. I mean, they don't know what Mahatma Gandhi's contribution was to civil rights movement, which was picked up by Martin Luther King in the United States, or that Mahatma Gandhi perfected his weapons of truth and nonviolence in South Africa in the backdrop of apartheid. And he actually picked up his ideas of a struggle for independence of India, fighting against apartheid in South Africa, against the British. So, I mean, it's ignorance, it's stupidity, and preposterous that they would be defiling the statue of Mahatma Gandhi in London as they did in Washington. More so in London because, at least in the case of United States, there was Black Lives Matter rioting by Antifa versus some retaliatory white supremacist violence. So we don't know exactly who did it there, and it's being investigated after a complaint by the Indian embassy there in Washington, D.C. But in London, it has happened yesterday, and as yet we don't know who has done it. I believe there would be complaint or some kind of investigation. But then in the case of the London defilement of the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, it seems to be a clear case of absolute lack of understanding, absolute ignorance, and the stupidity on the part of those who have done this.
Also, Abhishek, will it be right to, draw a conclusion that since Mahatma Gandhi preached non-violence, the Gandhian principle of non-violence is known worldwide, there's some kind of an underlying message that these protesters are perhaps trying to convey to the rest of the world?
Well, if they are trying to convey that violence is legit, then obviously they don't understand Mahatma Gandhi, and if that is the reason why they are attacking the Gandhi statue there, then obviously investigation and police action has to happen, because violence is no answer to any grievance. And the fact is that in the case of George Floyd also, while there are deep-rooted, long-standing issues of racism which might have contributed to it, action has been taken. The police officer concerned, who was seen in the picture strangulating George Floyd, so to say, has been arrested, is behind bars, has been charged with murder, and American law is taking its course. So I believe this has been used as an opportunity. There might have been some pent-up anger, frustration, obviously, which has come out, but there is a way of doing it. As I said, if these were followers of Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi, they would have chosen a different path, or of Nelson Mandela even. These seems to be ruffians who are using this opportunity to indulge in loot, arson, and actually compromising the principles for which the civil rights movement leadership is stood for.